entertainment.
Hey. What's up, everybody? Wonderful Sunday evening to you. Wanted to come in here live because I have had something on my mind for a while. And, it just keeps coming to you and coming to you and coming to you. So I have to share it. And it's this thought. You don't need to love God more. You need to love yourself better. Let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about something that I know this is going to challenge your beliefs, but you don't need to love God more. What you need is to love yourself better. And while that might sound controversial, stay with me. So I want you to think about how religion often creates this culture of judgment, of self-condemnation, and fear. We're taught to love God with all of our heart, with all of our mind, with all of our strength, and we excel at that, present company included. Pour ourselves into faith, into devotion, into service. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You ready? You can love God with all you have and still not love yourself. Yes, it's true. And somewhere along the way, there's this narrative that took root that if we love God enough, that should automatically make us whole. But here's the thing, loving God and loving yourself are two very different things. And the scriptures teach us to love God, but somehow we've absorbed this message that loving God should come at the expense of loving ourselves. I know I'm right. I had a pastor that used to say, I know I'm right. I can't be wrong. It's true. I mean, what I just said is not true. But the message that we get, that we operate from, is so true. And again, present company included. I want you to understand something. When we talk about self-love, sometimes, especially as a high achieving, as a high achieving woman, a little tongue-tied there, as a high achieving woman, when we talk about self-love, oftentimes I've had conversations with women who are strong, who are powerful, who are getting it done, who are bosses in their own right. And, they're like, I love myself. I'm killing it. What are you talking about? I'm not your audience. I don't have a low self-esteem. This doesn't have to do with low self-esteem. I want to tell you a few ways where lack of self-love shows up in our lives. Tell me if you resonate with this. One, you're always in control. Hello. You're always in control. Maybe you always need to plan the family vacations, to lead all the projects, to micromanage how others handle even the smallest tasks. And on the surface, it looks like you're just good at organizing or getting things done. But if you're honest with yourself, that need to control, you know what drives it? Fear. The fear that if you let go, everything will fall apart. And it'll be your fault. So underneath it, there's this lack of trust, not just in others, but in yourself. You don't need to love God more. You need to love yourself better. Tell me if this one resonates with you. Overcommitment. You overcommit to everything. You're the go-to person at work, at home, in your social circles, in your social circles, not circus. I'm not saying it's a circus. But you're overcommitted. You're committed to your family, first of all, committed to your church, committed to your sorority, to Jack and Jill, to the Links. You're on a board. That's 6. Oh, you got a side hustle. That's 7. Oh, you got. And listen, if you can do all those things and you're energized from doing things, go for it. But I want you to be honest. If somebody needs help, are you the first to always say yes? And while that looks generous, sometimes it's actually a form of self neglect because you're constantly overextending yourself. Because if you say no, it doesn't feel. You feel like a failure if you say no. You're afraid that you'll be seen as less competent, less giving, or less valuable if you set those boundaries. But what's really happening is you're trading your own peace for the approval of others because deep down, you don't feel worthy just as you are. You don't need to love God more. You need to love yourself better. Or what about this one? You overthink decisions to the point of exhaustion. Like, imagine being offered this delicious, fantastic new opportunity, like maybe a promotion or a business venture, or even just a chance to take time for yourself. And instead of feeling excited about it, what do? You spiral into overthinking and you analyze. So you're so good at analyzing. It's what's made you successful, right? But you overanalyze like every possible outcome and you consult everyone you know because there's safety in the multitude of counsel. But okay, how much consulting are you going to do? And after all of that, you're still unsure. And what's really happening is what? A lack of self-trust. Because you believe that if you make a mistake, it means that something's wrong with you. So the overthinking is just a mask for self-doubt. And underneath that is what? It is a fear of not being enough. You don't need to love God more. You need to love yourself better. So what am I saying? I'm going to stop there. There's more that I can go. And you know what? I'll probably go live again tomorrow and give you a few more because sometimes the self-love, the lack of self-love is masked under all of these high achieving activities. But at the root of all this is fear, right? The fear of letting go, the fear of letting others down, the fear of not being enough, that nagging voice of judgment that whispers you're not enough. So what do? We need to do more to prove that we are. And if you're honest, all of these struggles, the constant striving, the overthinking, and the self-criticism, guess what? They're symptoms of one thing. And you know what that is? Lack of self-love. So you can have unshakable faith in God, but if you don't believe in your own worthiness, if you don't truly embrace who you are, you will always feel like you're falling short. I don't care how much you pray, how much you fast. And I know this, man, because I'm the first partaker of this fruit. This is what started me on this journey. I was talking to my husband about this. He was like, it's true. It's true. Even me. Even me. There's so many people I have conversations with, strong, powerful people. It does not diminish what you're able to do in the world and your ability to access the power of God to do exploits and do great things. But the truth is, not loving yourself is the Here's the word. I'm stuttering. The antithesis. My words are not working today. The antithesis, I'm trying to say, of what the scriptures teach. Wasn't Jesus who said, love your neighbor as you love who? Who? Your boo? Your mama? Your good girlfriend? Oh, yourself? Yeah, as yourself. But we skip over the yourself part because we've created this narrative where self-love is seen as selfish or indulgent. But listen, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. You were created in God's image. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. You were created to be loved by God and by yourself. So lack of self-love, this is the thing. Even though you're doing all of these awesome, amazing things, when you lack self-love, it makes life so much harder than it needs to be. And it means you're constantly, you may constantly question your decisions. You might second guess your value. You may stay stuck in this loop of fear, in a loop of guilt. It's like you're trying to walk forward while you're dragging a heavy weight behind you. And that weight, it's your own unwillingness to love yourself as deeply as you love God. So maybe you may not even realize it. You didn't even know that was an option. I'm telling you tonight. The message I want to leave with you is this. You don't need to love God more to fix what's missing in your life. That love is already there, baby. That love was already nailed in. That love was already sealed, signed, and delivered. Okay? God is love. Unconditional love. You ain't got to do nothing. There's nothing. Who said this? I think it was Brendan Manning. There's nothing you could do to make God love you anymore. There's nothing you could do to make him love you any less. All you got to do is receive it and agree with that love and align yourself with that love and align yourself with who you truly are. Magnificent. And we've learned how to tap into the power in a way to move us forward, to break through, and to get things done and to accomplish things. Even if we're all inside, we're still going to get it done. We're still going to achieve. We're still going to do what we could do. We're going to make it happen. But that is not the abundant life that is yours by divine right. See, there's no fear in love. Perfect love removes all fear. And you are able to access this transformative power of love. Turn that love to yourself. Because guess what? God is not threatened by your self-love. In fact, he desires it because the more that you love yourself, the more fully you can embody the love he has for you. And then you can release the fear. You can release the guilt. You can release the self-judgment. You can step into the fullness of who God created you to be. And that, my friends, is the real path to freedom. So as you walk away today, I want you to ask yourself, how can I love myself better? Because the moment you do, your relationship with God, with yourself, and with everyone around you will transform in ways that you never imagined. Never imagined. I truly believe with all my heart that when we love ourselves better, everything else changes. Everything else changes. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it first in my own life. I've seen it in my son's life. As we created a world for him. My son, those of you who don't know, my son was diagnosed with autism, and we created a home program with him that was built on unconditional love and teaching him to love himself, to love himself, to play, to enjoy life, to appreciate who he is with his magnificent, beautiful design. And that little boy went from being scared of everything in the world to coming out, so much so that he went 1,200 miles to college in Oklahoma. Yeah, so much so that every little thing that he was afraid of, incrementally, step by step, he overcame each of those fears through love. Not through powering through and driving himself to do it, which we can do, but he chose the path of love that we modeled for him. I've seen it in my clients again and again and again. I had one client who was in her 70s when she started working with me, lived her whole life wrapped in fear. No one knew it. No one knew it. If you looked at her from here, the optics look great. And that's what we do, right? We look so good. We look so good. We know how to look good and clean up. But inside, we're melting. This woman was melting. There was a silent scream on the inside. Started working together through the path of love. Shattered all those fears. Living her best life. Started at 70. I'm talking about stuff like being afraid of water, to the point that she went on vacation in the Niagara Falls on the Maiden Miss, driving over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel. If you're not from the East Coast, it's a bridge that has water all around it. It's like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 bridges. You just keep going over and over, and there's water and water and water. It can be very intimidating. Not a problem. Wouldn't play in the water. Now she plays in the water. So many things. What are you tolerating? You don't have to tolerate it. You don't have to settle. There is another path. And guess what? It's with loving yourself. Oh, I never thought about that. I know. It's a radical move. It works. All right? So, how can you love yourself better? If you don't know the answer to that question, guess what? I'm having a retreat, a virtual retreat. You don't have to travel. And it's Saturday. Did you know that? It's coming up on Saturday. It's called Unwind from the Inside Out. And it's specifically designed for you, my high achieving queens who are ready. If you're ready, you got to be ready. Ready to release that constant pressure, ready to release that overthinking, ready to release the exhaustion that comes with always having to be on. This retreat is about more than just slowing down. I am going to give you the keys to rediscovering that joy and that peace and that self-love that's been buried. It's there, but it's just buried underneath the layers of stress and striving. This is a space where you can put everything down, get out of your head, come back to you, rediscover you, and rediscover the power of love. And you're going to respect that power, like Stephanie says. You're going to learn to respect the power of love. So, this is going to be an amazing opportunity. We're going to really dive in. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you have to commit to yourself to block out that time, right? So that you can get these practices, these tools to release that need for control, embrace trust, both in you and in God, let go of the overcommitment, reclaim your time, reclaim your energy and those boundaries. We get to uh, uncover all the little sneaky ways that fear will show up in your decisions, and learn how to replace it with self-compassion and clarity. It's going to be fun. It's going to be powerful. It'll be informative. It's going to be really different and really radical because that's how I roll. So, if you're ready to experience these guided practices, if you've been like thinking to yourself, there's something more, I'm missing something, there's a better way. I feel it, I know it, I just can't seem to grasp it, or I've tried and I can't seem to put it together. If you've read all the books and listened to the podcasts and all of that, this is a time for you just to come and to dedicate this time for you and be in a space where you can get that guided instruction, and just a time just to stop and to be still so you can know. Imagine what it would feel like if you could wake up without that constant pressure, and to make those decisions without overthinking, and to actually enjoy your success, truly enjoy it on the inside, not just from event to event to event, right? Or from experience to experience, but on a daily basis, every day, without having to immediately chase after the next goal. Imagine that, living that life where you are as compassionate and loving to yourself as you are with others. So this is the journey that we're going to take together at Unwind from the Inside Out virtual retreat. You deserve this, sis. You deserve this time to reconnect and to replenish and to reclaim, and all of the re's that you've been waiting for all along. Okay? So if you're ready to say yes to yourself in a new, more powerful way, and if you're ready to let go of the guilt and the fear and the self-doubt, I invite you to join us. Okay? All right. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. The link is in the description for the retreat. So you can click on that to register, or you can just drop some questions in the chat. I'm happy to respond. And I can't wait to see you there. Okay? This your moment. Remember, when you learn to love yourself deeply, the way that God intended, guess what? You set yourself free. I look forward to seeing you there. Beautiful soul. Let's unwind together, okay? All right. Joyful blessings. Good night.